It has been a long time no see for a little bit, but I am back and better than ever. Don't mind the voice. I am getting over some kind of cold or just some kind of stuff. I had to have a steroid shot, and it's been fun. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about the weird encounter that I had on Saturday. Okay, I got off work on Saturday, and I decided, because it was such a nice day and it was so pretty. It was so pretty outside. I decided, because it was so pretty outside and all this jazz, that I would just go out in my electric wheelchair and just roam around. Not go too far from the house, but far enough to where I could just enjoy the scenery, because I don't go out very often. So when I do, it is okay, cool. Wish I hadn't. Well, I'm glad I did, because I met some wonderful people, but there is a part of it that kind of made me uncomfortable, and here's what happened. Okay, so I am talking to my neighbor, and they are planting roses, and we're just carrying on, and we're just, doing pleasantries, just talking and what have you. Well, I notice when I leave my house that there's this pickup truck that keeps circling our block, and I didn't pay too much attention to it, because I'm like, maybe they're looking at a house that's for sale, or maybe they're lost, because it does happen. I couldn't find my way out of a paper bag sometimes. So I start talking to my neighbor, and these people are watching me really closely. Not my neighbor, but these people in a pickup truck. And I have never seen this lady in my life. I don't know a lot of people, but I would remember this face, and it just made me really, really uncomfortable, the things she was asking before my neighbor came and intervened. For the sake of this story, I'm going to call my neighbor Angel, because she was my guardian angel that day. So this lady pulls up to the curb, and I know my mom has a lot of friends, so I'm thinking maybe they know my mom. No, this lady did not know me, and did not have the right to ask me the questions she did. That made me extremely uncomfortable. So before my neighbor came over and saved the day, this lady approaches me, and she tries to get out of the car. Now, mind you, they are sitting in their truck, and they have the windows down, and they're talking to me, and she's like, "Do you live in this area? How do you know those people? Why are you talking to them?" Well, first of all, they're my neighbors. It'd be kind of rude not to. And it's really none of your business. And she starts asking me how old I am and stuff, and it gets really creepy. And she's asking a lot of questions. And she tries to get out of the car. And she's like, "Do you need help?" "Ma'am, I don't need help. I'm just talking to my neighbor. You can see my neighbor. She's right there. And I'm talking to her. Just get out of the way and let me talk to my neighbor. It'll be great. I promise. For everybody involved. If you just get in your car and stay in it." Well, she tries to get out, so my neighbor comes over because she doesn't like how the situation is going down, and she got a bad feeling. And so did I. So she came over, and I was like, ma'am, can you just please, leave or do something? And so my neighbor comes over, and she's like, do you know those people? And I said, no, ma'am. I thought you knew them, and I thought they were stopping to talk to y'all. And she goes, I've never seen that woman in my life. I was like, I was a little uncomfortable. I didn't get to go into detail what they had been asking me. But when the lady attempted to get out of the car, the gentleman in the car with her stopped her and said, see, she's talking to her neighbors. She doesn't need help. She's fine. So, the creepy questions that she was asking me, I felt like were not appropriate. If I'm 32 years old, if I felt I was in danger, I would have called 911. I would have called a family member, and they would have came and saved the day. So my neighbor comes and saves the day, and my neighbor is my guardian angel. To this day, she will be my bestest friend for what she did. Because God only knows what they may have done if she hadn't intervened and came from her house to where I was standing and started talking to me and just getting to know me. So when the lady sees this, they don't leave right away. Like, they keep circling the block one more time and then they're gone. So it kind of creeped me out. And I just didn't feel like that conversation should have happened. If you see somebody in a wheelchair, just leave them the heck alone. They're on. It's America. I can get out of the house. I promise. I'm 32 years old. I can make my own decisions. I work for a living. And I pay my own bills. Oh my God. But I understand if they felt it was a situation, but they had no right to ask me where I lived or what house was mine. I did not tell them, and they were like, do you live at this house? Why are you sitting, outside this house? And I'm like, because it's America, and because I can sit here. I pay taxes. Boo. So after we had that strange encounter, my neighbor comes over and she could tell I was a little upset, and she saved the day. She was amazing. And I have never had a neighbor that would step in and do that like she did. And she ended up saving my life because I have a feeling that lady would have, tried to take off with me or tried to do something very not good. So, my mom comes back from what she's doing because she has a right to have her own life. I have a right to have mine. So if I want to talk to my neighbors, I'm going to talk to my neighbors. So Mom comes back from what she's doing, and I don't think I told her right away what had happened. So I don't tell her right away, and I just, go on with the day. And I don't say anything. I don't do anything. But I guess it's one of those things where you had to be there to feel the uncomfortableness, because I got so many questions. It was like I was in an interview or I did something wrong for being in a wheelchair and being there. And that's how this person made me feel. If my neighbor hadn't have intervened, it would have been 10 times worse. So when the gentleman in the car saw that I was talking to my neighbor, he goes, maybe we shouldn't be here, because she's not in trouble. Why'd you make me stop? And she goes, well, she's just sitting there talking. She's talking to her neighbor. And so the lady tries to get out of the car. And that's what scared me. And I said, no, I don't need help. And I did it in a very, like, I have bronchitis, but I did it in a, like, deep voice. And I guess the look on my face, she took her hand off the handle to open the door, and she stayed in the truck. And her husband, or whoever he was, tells her, she doesn't need you. We don't know her. She doesn't know us. You know, yeah. And so she keeps asking, like, if I live there, around this area. And she goes, oh, which house is yours? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just uncomfortable. So my neighbor thought that I knew her, the lady in the truck. And I thought she was somebody who knew my neighbor. But we both didn't know this person. So, word to the wise, if somebody pulls up to you and you want to on the sidewalk, just ignore them. Put your phone to your ear and just pretend like they ain't there. Or just be like texting somebody, be like, I can't hear you. But then you'd probably get grabbed. So, I think my neighbor saved my life. She pretty cool. And I'm going to be her friend, and she going to be my friend. And we going to be friends. Because she saved my life. Because that little creeped me out just a little bit. And we found out we have something in common. She's a little bit older than me, but we going to be friends. But I do want to thank y'all for watching this video and listening to my little story time of my horrific outing out of the house. But yeah, it was pretty creepy. I was pretty creeped out. See you guys in the next video tomorrow. Bye.